Here are 15 things you don't want to forget if you're heading to Iceland. First and foremost, you're going to need a way to navigate between destinations while you're in the country. So you can either bring a map, a GPS, or a phone with some kind of internet connection. What my wife and I opted for was renting a Wi-Fi hotspot that allowed us to connect to the internet pretty much anywhere in the country. We rented our hotspot from our camper van rental company, which is called Cuckoo Campers, but there are other companies that offer hotspot rentals as well. If you're on a budget, another good option is to use an app like Google Maps and download a bunch of offline maps for Iceland before you get to the country. That way, even if you don't have a signal, you can use your phone to help you navigate where you need to go. Another good thing to have is a travel rewards credit card with a PIN set to it. Now, I like to find rewards cards that don't have any foreign transaction fees because those can add up quite a bit. Once you've found a good card that you like, you'll want to set up a PIN number for it before you head to Iceland. A number of the gas pumps require that you enter a PIN if you're using a credit card, and so if you don't have one of those set up, you're out of luck and you would either have to use a debit card or use cash. Another thing you'll need would be a European plug adapter so you can keep your devices charged. If you're coming from the US, your standard US plugs will not work with the plugs in Iceland, so make sure you have however many adapters that you'll need. Another thing you'll want to have are some good waterproof shoes. In Iceland, you'll be walking on all types of different terrain, and so I recommend getting some shoes that have really good grip that will keep you from slipping, especially in wet conditions. Even if the rain isn't an issue as far as wetness is concerned, there are a lot of waterfalls in the country, and if you plan on getting up close and personal with a waterfall, it's very wet and very misty around there, so those waterproof shoes will be good for that as well. Something that's especially helpful to have if you're camping would be some type of headlamp. This is great for walking to the bathroom at night, or maybe if you don't want to drain your car's battery at all, you can just use your headlamp instead. These aren't very expensive, and I find myself using mine quite a bit while we were in the country, so I recommend picking that up before you go. Quick side note on that, you probably won't need a headlamp if you're traveling during the summer when it's daylight nearly 24/7 in Iceland. That's a good segue into my next item, which is an eye mask. So if you are traveling during the summer when it's light most of the time, you'll definitely want something to block out the light so that you can sleep at night, because it really is light almost around the clock for a large portion of the summer. Iceland is notoriously windy and rainy, so a good raincoat is a must, and ideally it offers a good amount of protection against the wind as well. And like I mentioned, any rain gear also applies for waterfalls as well, so it's good to have either way. In addition to your rain jacket, just some good rain pants. I would say just make sure you don't get some that are too short. If they're too short, then the water can run down them and drip into your shoes. The temperature in Iceland can vary pretty widely just depending on where you are in the country and also just what time of year you're traveling. So a nice thermal base layer is also a really nice thing to have. And of course, you'll want to have other warm clothes. I would say the next most important thing would be a good hat to cover your ears and keep your head warm, as well as gloves, maybe a scarf, and maybe some different pullovers that you can layer just to help yourself stay nice and warm. If you plan on visiting any of the hot springs, you'll definitely want to bring your swimsuit. Another thing I was happy to have is just a waterproof camera. So I brought a nice big DSLR camera that isn't waterproof, but when it's raining or you get close to waterfalls, you really do want something that's waterproof. That's where my handy dandy iPhone came in. Most iPhones these days are water resistant, if not entirely waterproof. If your phone isn't inherently waterproof, you can always get some kind of case for it as well. So another more camper van specific item would be a laundry bag. When you're staying in a small camper van with either 1, 2, or 3 people, it can get stinky pretty quickly. So having some type of bag that you can put all your dirty clothes in to seal it up and hopefully contain some of that smell will be helpful. Another thing you'll want to plan to have is a towel. You can either pack this and bring it with you, which I don't think I would do just because it takes up a lot of space, or you can rent them either from your camper van company or just buy a cheap towel when you're in the country. Having a towel ensures you can dry off after visiting any of the natural hot springs, or you also have a towel for showers at campgrounds. My favorite travel accessory, and one that I was really grateful to have, is just a hanging toiletry kit. So this is a little one that I found on Amazon. I like how small it is, but all it is these different compartments that you unfold, and it has a hook so you can hang it up. This is great for our camper. I could just hang it up inside the camper, and it's like we had a little bathroom shelf right there ready to use. They're also just really convenient for going to the bathroom. All you would need to bring is this and maybe your towel, and you're good to go. So if you want to buy this exact toiletry kit, I put a link in the description for you to check it out. I just made a video about my full itinerary through Iceland. We traveled for about 9 days, and so I break down everything we saw, everything we did. If you want to check that out, that's in the description as well. Thank you guys for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.